Hi everyone, welcome to Distressing's 101 Mix It All Together. Today is the last day of the free class, and this card tutorial is going to show you 4 different amazing cards that you can create using watercolor distress, and literally all 4 of these cards took me about less than 15 minutes, I would say. So I'm going to show you how to make all 4 of these cards, and you can adapt these techniques in any way you like by cutting the time by using just the same colors over and over again and the same background stamp, or you can do what I do and just use different colors and different background techniques. I just wanted to show you different color combinations. Alright, so let's get started. You're going to cut 4 by 5¼ inch watercolor pieces of paper, as many as you need for cards. So if you're making 4 cards, you need 4. If you're making 10, make 10. You're going to ink up a background stamp, and you're going to stamp it in Versamark ink on your actual card. You're going to cover it in white embossing powder and heat emboss the background. I like to grab my panels by the sides so that I don't get my fingerprints on them, because the embossing powder will stick to any oils left by your hands. And I'm going to take that and I'm just going to heat emboss it until the embossing powder melts, and I'll be able to create a really nice resist effect using watercolors. I'm going to be doing this 4 different times using 4 different background stamps. I just use a lattice background stamp. I'm also going to be using the Roses All Over from My Favorite Things, the lace stamp from My Favorite Things, and the dictionary stamp from Stampin' Up! Alright, now that all my panels complete, I'm going to do each panel one at a time. Right now I'm saturating my cardstock with water. I'm going to be using Abandoned Coral, Festive Berries, Worn Lipstick, and Seedless Preserves. All these colors blend extremely well together, so I'm not worried about having to avoid certain colors. So I am painting extremely fast, going in with each color with a wet brush and just letting the color pool up onto the cardstock. I'm going to set this off to the side to dry, and I actually let all of these overnight instead of reheating embossing. A lot of the times if you heat emboss after heat embossing, it makes your embossing kind of dull. So I do like to set them out for a little while. Drying time would probably be about 30 minutes in total, depending how much water you want to use on it. But I was going to work anyway, so I just let them sit while I was at work. With the Roses All Over background, I'm going to be using Fossilized Amber, Wild Honey, Ripe Persimmon, and I believe I grabbed a Festive Berries as well, or a Worn Lipstick. I'm just going to go over all these. These colors blend together extremely well as also, and I just added a little bit of Seedless Preserves in there to add a little pop of color. I'm going to set that off to the side as well, clean up my mess, and move on to my next panel. These are some great color combinations, and if they're going too fast for you, I do have them on a PDF file on my blog as well as on my blog, so you'll be able to find them without having any issues. For my next panel, I'm going to saturate this one with water as well, and I'm going to use some various blues. I'm using Peacock Feathers, Broken China, Tumbled Glass, and Faded Jeans. I believe I also added some Chipped Sapphire, if I'm not mistaken. So here not Chipped Sapphire, Mermaid Lagoon. And I'm going in and I'm doing the exact same thing. All of these are blues, so they blend well together, not avoiding any particular colors. And this is the lace background, which turns out really pretty once it's dry. You can already see that some of them are drying, and I just kind of picked up some of the excess liquid that was pooling up on them so that they would dry faster. I'm going to clean up my ink here, and then I'm going to go on to my next card panel. This one here, I felt like there was just that big purple splotch and a lot of yellow, so I just went in with some more colors here. I went in with some Candied Apple, some of the Fossilized Amber again, and Seedless Preserves to let that dry. Just wanted to make it a little bit more vibrant and dark. For my last panel, I'm going again with the water, and then I'm going to be using Carved Pumpkin, Festive Berries, Broken China, and then a yellow color. Now, I wasn't exactly sure how well these were going to blend in together. This is Mustard Seed and the Carved Pumpkin. I just went in here with the Abandoned Coral, and then I'm just going to go in with Broken China, but then I decided not against the blue because I thought the white or the yellow, pink, and orange worked out really well together. Now these are them drying after overnight. They look absolutely amazing. Again, they would have dried in about a half an hour anyway, but I went to work and then started on these in the morning. So I'm going to just go in and glue all of these to my card panels. So I hope you can see how really quickly these cards can go. The most time I think it took was the actual embossing and just picking out the colors I wanted to use. So you could use the same color and make bulk cards just like I'm doing, even more quick of a time. I mean, literally these took me 15 minutes. Look absolutely gorgeous, and I love them. And I really like how this one here is sort of an imperfect shape because some of the embossing powder didn't show up when I had spread it on. I think it looks great. I'm going to be using this thanks die from My Favorite Things, and I'm going to die cut enough of those based on the amount of cards I'm making, so I just cut 4 of those. I'm going to attach those onto my cards, and I just cut out some little black panels here because I'm using the thanks stamp from My Favorite Things that kind of coordinates with this die here, and it just says thanks just for being you, and I'm stamping that in Versamark ink and then covering it in white embossing powder just like I did in my previous video from today, just to make a really bold sentiment. So again, stamping it in Versamark ink, picking it up, putting some white embossing powder on it, and then heat embossing it. I'm going to do the heat embossing off screen, but essentially it's just the same technique that we used in the beginning with the background powder, just on black paper. Now it's just time to put everything together, so I'm just going to grab my Tombow Mono liquid adhesive and carefully glue the thanks die. I did the other 3 cards off screen so that you don't have to watch me do this each time. So I put the thanks, which I think sticks out nicely against the watercolors, but it's quite subtle. And then I have that really massive pop of black, and I think that just adds a little bit of elegance to the card. And I'm adding some pop dots onto the back of those, or some little 3D foam tapes. And then I'm just sticking those underneath my sentiment to create my card. So I hope you enjoyed this quick and easy technique using watercolors. You got some ideas for card combinations. Don't forget that there's a PDF download that explains every one of these cards in detail along with the colors. There's a final look at the cards, and all the supplies used are linked to below in the video description or on my blog. Here you can click to visit my blog. Over on the right you can click on the subscribe button to subscribe to my channel, or if you want to click on the photo there you can check out yesterday's class. Don't forget that there are 2 videos for today, so don't forget to check out the other one. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed Distress 101 class with me.